Aha, hello boys and ghouls. Happy Halloween. Today is Saturday, October 26th. And the big news is on my stroke recovery, I'm ambulatory. As recently as 6 weeks ago, I was still in a wheelchair. I could get up and walk a little bit with the walker. Now I can walk. I am walking again. Still, when I go out places, man, that's a hard door to open. This is what I take with me now. I'm not, so no more wheelchair, no more walker. This gives me a good sturdy support to lean against. And unlike a cane, it won't go out from under me. You know, I can really grab hold of this. But otherwise, I can stand and walk and get around the house pretty much on my own. So that's a huge step. Pretty soon I'll be driving again. I'll be able to, in a couple of weeks, we plan to go back and renew my driver's license. Interestingly, the Department of Transportation, the Federal Department of Transportation, requires a physical. You have to have a physical exam to be a commercial driver. You may remember I was driving RVs, delivering RVs, and since I was being paid to drive, I had to have a DOT physical. My good friend Dr. Dean up in Colorado, the guy who gave me the physical, informed me that after a stroke, I'm suspended for a year. And I can understand why. Even though I feel like I'm really recovering, every now and then the brain has a disconnect with the rest of the body. Here's my coffee mug. This was given to me by another one of my dear Colorado friends, Erica. We were all part of the Dickens Carolers almost 25 years ago. And Erica gave me this mug. I really like it for my desk because it's unlike a travel mug. It's a wide bottom mug, so I can set it on the desk and it's not likely to tip over. I'm sitting there at the desk having my coffee. Don't worry, the mug is empty right now. And I was holding my mug, kind of reviewing something on my article I was writing, and just all of a sudden my hand just said, "Yeah, we quit," and it just just jerked, and I almost dropped my mug right in my lap. Fortunately, I kind of regained. So those are the kinds of things after the stroke, and that probably will go on for several more months. And that's why when I leave the house, I still take the crutch, because the leg does that every now and then too. When I'm stepping around the bed, certain motions, all of a sudden I'll just feel as if I'm losing. The leg is just going, and then fortunately I can put my hands on the bed, or it'll catch in time. And that brings up the next thing I want to talk about is, one of the reasons I'm doing these videos is I'm hoping people who are struggling with stroke recovery or helping somebody recover from a stroke might find these videos, and it might be helpful for you to know two of the things, the only two things that I really did not expect about recovering from a stroke. Of course, nobody knows what it feels like until you have a stroke and find out what it's like to lose control of part of your body and have difficulty speaking for a while. Even now, my voice, my nice full voice is not back. I have a little bit of people who've known me for years could probably tell my voice is a little squeaky, a little bit pinched. And every now and then I stutter and really have trouble pronouncing certain words. The first one that just caught me as a surprise was Tylenol. I had to work and practice saying Tylenol to learn how to say that word again. Simple things like that. But the real, of course, the biggest hit was to the left side of my body. So just the realization, when you know what a stroke is, part of my brain is dead. A pretty good percentage of my brain has died. The blood supply to that part of the brain is gone. But so that's a little hard to come to terms with. And when you first realize that you feel like an invalid, and I know people don't like me to use that term, but you do. You feel like an invalid for a while, and there is a question in your mind, will I ever get this back? And everybody assured me, all the therapists and doctors, assured me that I would, and I am. But the two things that really came as a surprise were, first of all, fear. Obviously, having a heart attack, having a stroke it causes you to be a little bit afraid that these things can happen to you, and then when it does happen to you, that solidifies the fear. But the real fear is when, like I said, I'll be walking, and then just like that, the leg, and I won't see it coming. It just feels like it's going. You live all your life relying on the various parts of your body, and then all of a sudden you don't. It's so simple. Little motions: opening a jar, shaking pepper on your food, cutting your food, walking, standing up from a chair, all those things, and suddenly you can't do them. I mean, in a day, the stroke happens, and the day after the stroke, you can't do those things. So that would be the first thing that I would want to say to prepare you. Is there will be fear, and I wish I could tell you better, but you just have to push through it. That's what courage means. Courage doesn't mean absence of fear. Courage means overcoming fear. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is to, keep pushing myself and just not be afraid. Of course, the other thing for me, and I don't know if the spasms and spasticity affect about half of people who have strokes. I was one of the unfortunate ones, and I really was unfortunate because I had spasms. Spasms and spasticity are two different things. The spasms that's the worst. I don't ever want to go through something like that again. And the only thing I can recommend there is like with the fear, if you're having spasms, they're horrible, and they really have a terrible effect on your life, but they will eventually, especially with physical therapy. You have to start teaching your brain to use that part of your body again, so that the brain will reconnect and not try to send a super high voltage jolt to make that contraction happen. And then once it starts speaking to your muscles again, the brain starts making that communication, the spasms stop. I do have spasticity still, and it only happens when I wake up. Anytime I've been asleep and I wake up, if I'm taking a nap on the couch and I wake up, the first thing I have to deal with is a good 30 seconds, sometimes a full minute or two, of my hand just contracting. It doesn't really hurt. It just kind of makes a claw, and it locks like that, and then it'll relax, and I can go on with my day. In the middle of the night, if I wake up because I'm hot and I need to throw off some covers or have to pee or whatever, the first thing, I'll wake up, and the first thing that happens, everything's completely relaxed. I wake up, this claw thing happens, and then it relaxes, and I've just learned every time I wake up, I'm going to have to lie there for a minute, wait for that to stop, and a little bit of a spasm in the leg too. The leg will sometimes just contract. That doesn't happen as often. And the verdict is in on the beard. As you may have noticed, I've lost quite a bit of weight. I've lost almost 60 pounds so far, and I have another 10 pounds to go. So I'm kind of curious what I look like now. I had, like any heavy overweight person, I had quite a bit of fat in my face, my cheek, and my neck. And because of the weight loss, I'll quit snoring. It's no more sleep apnea. So, try to find a silver lining. The stroke really, I had already started losing weight before the stroke. After the stroke, I accelerated. Today is 17 weeks since the stroke. The last time I shaved was the day before I had the stroke. So this is what I look like after 4 months of beard growth. So when I'm fully recovered, when I really have complete confidence in my hand and leg, and I can walk, that's gonna. I'm kind of making that as my marker. That's when I'm going to shave. So probably around Christmas time. I mean, what the heck? Maybe I should dye the beard white and play Santa Claus. So that is the update for now. 17 weeks. I'm walking. Still a little bit of spasticity in the hand, but I can type. I'm actually working a job. How lucky for me to be able to find something that, once I get good at it and streamline, will pay reasonably well. I can do it from home while I'm recovering from a stroke. Think about that. So things are, all in all, pretty good. Happy Halloween, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.